Welcome back. South Africa seems to be the destination of choice for travelers. In March, arrivals by foreign travelers increased 10% on an annual basis, with a total of 995,770 arrivals recorded during the period. Just how much of a boost has this been for the local tourism industry? CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa, Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa, joins me now with further insights. Thank you so much for your time, Tshifhiwa. Now, the first thing that jumped out at me is that there were more tourists in March compared to last February, and also March 2024 compared to March 2023. So talk to us about the pace of momentum that you are seeing here.
Well, thank you for having me. I think what we are starting to see is the fact that the tourism industry is starting to recover at a faster pace. Of course, the numbers that we're seeing now, especially from our source markets, being from Europe, from the SADC countries, and of course from the Americas, are starting to show that South Africa is a destination of choice, and those that have been wanting to travel are looking to our direction for travel. So these numbers are very encouraging. When we did our numbers last time, we said that we were about 85% of 2019 figures, being the normal year of trade. What we're starting to see now is that we're creeping closer and closer to the 100% of 2019, which means that we will be back to the levels of 2019, which is pre-COVID, and it will simply mean that we've recovered fully to pre-COVID numbers. Then we need to plow back the years of COVID that we've lost if we want to make a dent on unemployment. So these are very encouraging numbers. When you look at month to month, you can see that there's improvement. Also, when you look at quarter to quarter, you can see that there's an improvement. So it's encouraging. There are a few markets that, we know that still needs a lot of work, from our side to make sure that we get more numbers coming in. But overall, very encouraging numbers. Shows that the industry is working very hard to attract tourists into South Africa. And of course, the collaboration between ourselves as a private sector and government is bearing fruit when we see these numbers, coming our way.
Yeah, and it's really also quite interesting and quite encouraging to see that most of the non-South African travelers, most of them are coming from inside Africa, particularly from SADC. And I actually want to know, what does the picture look like there in terms of, holiday travel and business travel from the SADC countries?
Well, look, SADC countries are a mixed bag because they travel for different reasons to other markets. You will have leisure market from the SADC region, those that will fly in to go to Durban, Cape Town, and many other places. And you will have those that come in to trade and to shop. To buy whatever necessities that they need. If you look at countries like Lesotho, Swaziland, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, they give us, great number of people who come into the country, spend at least one night, and go back home. So when we look at that market, it definitely gives us that. But more importantly, we need to look at the markets that, in the East Africa and West Africa. East Africa, Kenya is doing very well since we have made sure that Kenya doesn't require visa. Kenyans don't require visa to come to South Africa. So the numbers there are really, really doing well, and they're very encouraging. I think we can do the same with Uganda. If we have a visa-free entry for Ugandan citizens, we should start to see more and more people coming from Uganda. In West Africa, the picture it's slightly different. Ghana is starting to come through because we did a visa waiver with Ghana. I'm hoping to see those numbers improving. Nigeria is still behind because we still require visa. So we should be having more people from the African continent, coming from Nigeria. So that market is still behind, and we still need to do some work around that. But the countries that we are seeing that are doing better, from the markets that we call, the fly-in markets, those that don't drive but fly in from African continent, they're doing very, very well. Except for West Africa, where we still need to do more work there.
Yeah, it's really good that you also put in a note there of where you need to do more work in terms of the visa requirements. Just also looking at where most of these tourists are coming from, does that also influence the mode of transport that is preferred here?
Yeah, mode of transport is quite important. So SADC region, will always have the cross through the border gates, which is easier. And those that are flying in, what makes the travel easier is whether there's a direct connection between that particular country and ourselves. Point in case, we've got a direct connection with Kenya. Kenya Airways and many other airlines are flying to that part of the country or the world. So we do have a lot more people that are coming from there. And we also have, in the West African, region, the direct flights that South African Airways have introduced and other airlines from Ivory Coast and so on. That shows, through the numbers that there is movement of people. But overall, if you look at the globe, the fact that we're doing so well from North America, it means that we have more direct connection from North America into South Africa. You've got Delta flying in, you've got other airlines as well flying in, and hopefully soon South African Airways will start to fly again to New York and Washington D.C., and then we can get more numbers coming into the country. Also, if you look at Europe, although many people may connect through or via Middle East, we're seeing that the numbers are encouraging and more people are coming through. So air connectivity is key in terms of seeing the numbers rise. Whenever you have a flight that comes from that particular country direct into South Africa, you're going to see an increase, in number of people traveling between the countries. We're going to start to see that as well with Australia. SAA is flying there now to Perth. Of course, Qantas has always been flying with more frequencies. It means that we may have more people coming our way. So air connectivity is key, making sure that we have direct connection with many, countries, especially in the African continent, is key in terms of increasing the number of tourists into our country.
Yeah, I'm glad that you also mentioned the fact that we need proper air connectivity there to kind of encourage the tourism sector, but also looking at, for example, the mode of transport that is road. We need to make sure that the infrastructure is proper, and of course we're going to be having more conversations as to what else we need from the country to support the tourism sector. Thank you so much for your time, Tshifhiwa. That was CEO of the TBC SA, Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa.